Chapter 9b. Did you all really try it? Yes? Yes, huh? So everything run fine, huh? Is it okay? Any problem when you run through all the queries given? Foreign key. So when you create your table, it's actually under the, that's on your right pane there. Right pane there. On your left side, you can actually design to put in the, hold on, let me just open up. You can also just type in the query actually. Here. Can you see my screen here? Can you see my screen here?
Oh yeah.
Can, huh? So you can add new foreign key. So if you have more, you just add more. But make sure you know this FK as what you have learned in database, which field. Which field is actually as your FK, and this field, this FK is actually referred to which tables, what field. Normally PK lah, in that particular table that you refer to. So you can see that once you have this FK created, you're going to have this constraint FK to table. This FK, let's say your lecturer ID, that from the students table. Then you're gonna refer to lecturer's table, lecturer ID lah, normally like that. And this is actually the same like what you have learned in database, but you all start with this foreign key columns, reference to which tables column. Okay, you just add here. Yeah. So have you all tried up to the last slides? Link query with projections. The one where you can come up with substring, all these things, all can run properly. How about others, Farah and Kelvin?
Sorry, I just come into the meet.
Oh, okay. So, Kelvin didn't continue it. Why? Because too slow, is it?
What was the question again?
Farah, did you try all the queries that after the slides 33, that we miss out the one backslash.
Oh,
so after that, did you try out all the queries after that? All the bug queries and data grid view control already. That can help. Yeah.
For me, I didn't continue.
You didn't continue?
Yeah.
Okay. Because all these you're gonna know, you're gonna use this to give you some hint, to give you some idea later on for your what we call that, assignment. Okay, for your assignment later. Yeah, my laptop so slow, I didn't want to continue. Kelvin, you have to do that, or otherwise you cannot apply this to your assignment, no? Huh? You have to do that lah. Is it because, yeah?
Substring means what?
Substring is actually you take out part by part. Yeah. As you tried out I think this one should be in your last few slides, last one or two slides. Yeah, you take out part by part. No? You want to take out substring from 0 to 3. Then another substring start with 4. Okay. This is actually, you just take out from one whole string actually, but now substring is actually you take out part of it. Okay, you take out part of it. As mentioned in your result table, in I think should be second last like left in your chapter 9b. Okay, so never mind. For those who haven't had a chance to continue for that, no problem. After this, we will cover this final chapter. Okay, we will cover final chapter, and later, if we still have time, we can come back to this 9b there. Okay.
Okay.
So you can see my slide, huh? Okay, good. Oh, before that, please on your demo as well. Okay, you can just start your demo for the final chapter. Huh? Okay, I know you need some time, some of you, so just on it first. Okay. So for this final chapter is actually to save the data in file, and the concept of it is actually the same like what you have done in programming last time. So once you have once you need to save some data to the file, or you want to retrieve the data from a file, you need to declare the file. Okay, you need to declare the file stream, and then you need to open up the file. Now you want to open up to read or write something into it. Then, after you've done everything with this file, whether you read or write, you need to close the file. Okay, still remember all these steps, huh? But syntax definitely different lah. Concept is still the same. Okay. So to declare an instantiate object in code, store and retrieve data in file using string. So as you have been done in programming as well, using the file string. So save the values from a list box. So now you're actually combining the list box to the usage of the files lah. Okay, and reload for the next program run. You load some data from the file to the list box, to the combo box. Okay, check for the end of the file. You can do the checking also, whether you reach end of the file or not. Okay, test whether a file exists. Okay, this is also being done in your programming last time. You need to test, you need to check whether the file exists or not. Okay. Then display the standard open file, save file dialog box to allow user to choose or name the file. So this is the last part of this chapter. You can open a file from a text file that you already created. You can save file for what you put inside the data. I've put inside the a certain file. You can open it. You can save it. Okay, you can allow the user to choose or name the file. So creating an object. So now until this week, you have worked with so many objects already. Okay, the forms, controls in your project. All are the objects. Okay. So objects are created by the VB Forms designer, the one that you deal with every time. Okay. So to create a new object, declare an object of the class. You always declare it first. So to use the file later, yes, you need to declare as well. So the rules for declaring an object variable are the same as those for declaring the numeric and string variables. So when you do your declarations for the variables that you need to use, rules to declare all these objects are still the same. Okay, so we can use the dim, public, private, friend for accessibility. Okay, different accessibility. Locations of the declarations determine the scope and lifetime of the object. So you can declare it as a module, you can declare it as global, you can declare it as global or local. This is what you have learned in the previous chapters. So instantiating an object here. Create an object instance of the class using new. This is the one that you deal with every time when you deal with the code for the declarations. New keywords here to actually create a new object. Like if you create a student class. Okay, when you have a student class, you may have a lot of variables that you need to declare under this student class, like a structure that you have to deal with, like a student ID, student name, age, gender, address, contact number. All these are the variables that you're going to declare under this structure students. Then when you need to deal with the students, different students, you are actually deal with structure variables previously. But now, did I record the, hold on. Oh yeah, I recorded. Okay, but now, okay, for the structure variables here, is actually your object. Okay, object of the class. Object here can be S1, S2. So when you declare the structure already with all those members under this structure, this is what you have learned previously. What again? Student ID, name, gender, contact number, all these things. Those are the members of this structure called student. Then if I want to come out with different students here, I need to declare the structure variable. For example, I declare as student 1. I make it S1, S2, S3, or I can come out with an array and something else. Okay, so the S1, S2, S3 here is the structure variable of your structure called student. In terms of this object and class, S1 until S3, that's the object of the class of the students. That's the meaning of it. Okay, you actually deal with it all the time. It's only that maybe sometimes the terms they come out with different terms and you are a bit confused already. So the new keyword can be used in several different ways. Declare the variables and instantiate in one statement. So used to instantiate an object inside the procedures, which is you make it as a local variable. Okay, you can do it in this way. Then this is an example for the variables that you have as new font, which means here font is a class. Font heading is an object of the font. Okay, so straight away you give the value for this font heading with Arial 12. Okay, you can do it in this way. So you can declare the variable in one location and instantiate it in another. So this is normally at the module level, which means that you can add new item, which this new item is actually a module. You can do it in that way, or you can make it in the global. Okay, so the object needs to be available in more than one procedures module level. So more than one procedures that are going to use the same variables or the same objects that you have. Okay, so to declare a module level variables, okay, you can use a private this any variables, valid variables as StreamReader. This one is more to the file already. Then inside of procedures, you can instantiate the object. This is inside the object, inside the procedures already. But this one is declared outside. So when you declare outside, no matter how many procedures that you have, you can actually access it. Okay. Or you can instantiate a new object without a variable name. So this object won't be referred to again in code. So which means that you fix it to this label message only. Label message.form, which is actually the name of the label, the interface, the toolbox, the labels that you get from the toolbox, and then you name it as a label message. So this label message.form, you want to set it as Arial 12. Okay. So there is no code in this case. No variables, no code, sorry. No variables that you need to come up with. It's only using the controls. Okay, straight away you use the control. So now specifying a namespace here. So this is a fully qualified name, consists of complete namespace and class name. So such as in this case, students.windows.form.textbox. So this namespace here, system.windows.forms. The class name here, textbox. So you can have textbox 1, textbox 2, textbox 3, and so on. All these under class name textbox. Okay. So one whole of this we call as a qualified name. Okay. So if you are referring to a class where the namespace are automatically include, for example, here system or system.windows.form, system.drawing, the namespace is not needed. Okay, which means that it's already there, automatically included. Okay. So when a class is referred to in a different namespace, there are two choices here. You can write an entire namespace and class. Okay, or you can use import. Okay, you can use import statement. Just like when you do your programming last time, you include stdio.h, those things. The concept is there, So if you write the entire namespace and class here, you can straight away put an equals here, new system.drawing.whatClass. What you want to set for this label message.form. Or another way, input statement, you should have this line first. Okay, import system.drawing. So both are actually giving you the same output, same thing. Okay, same thing. So always when you need to import something, always at the top of the code. Okay, at the top of your code, before the public class, form, this and that, always at the first line. Okay, import system.drawing. So in this case, again, you are assigning the new font type to this label message.form. Okay, data files and project files. To save the data from one run of the applications to the next. Okay, and use when there's only a small amount of data, when you need to, maybe you take it out to list down a list box or to list down your combo box. Okay, just a small amount of data that would not warrant the use of a database. So if you are not using the database to collect those kind of data, use the file. Okay, use the file. It's not necessary every time you need to use database to keep the data. But when you have all those kind of relational, it's good that you have a database already. And now a simple data, Simple data only, you have small amount of data only, use a file. Okay. So the data file terminology, same, the file, entire collections of data. What file you want? What file you want to keep now? What data you want to keep? So make sure you name the file accordingly. Yeah. So the records, that's the row by row. Okay. How many rows there? That how many records you have lah. Then one row, one per entity. One row is actually one object consider. One row can be the when you have a student's day, one row of the student record, is it considered as one student's record? That's one object of the class again. Okay, one row. So a field is the columns here lah. Data elements within row, columns, fields. Same terms. So data file sample. You may have the last name, first name, phone. All these are the field. You have the records. First record, second record, third record. It reflects different names, different person. See, different person. So person 1, person 2, person 3. This can be fall under person class with last name, first name, and phone as the member of this class. Kind like this lah. When you explain using object and class object. Okay. So find a file handling using streams. So Visual Studio handles data file using stream, the file stream, as the one that you used last time also, you are using the stream. So a stream is designed to transfer a series of bytes from one location to another. So stream are objects that have methods and properties found in system.io namespace. Okay, so system.io namespace is the one that in your programming last time, standard stdio.h. Yeah? So file handling projects must contain an import statement before the statement declaring the form's class. So you must import this system.io before you declare the form class, before the public class form 1. So that's why I mentioned when you have the import statement, always first line, start with first line. Okay, always start with first line. File I/O, file input output, reading and writing data in a disk file. So write something. When you write something, you're gonna have output to the file. When you read something, you're gonna input something from the file. Okay, so like for form, you ask for the user key in, then maybe you save it. It's actually you write something to your data file. If you deal with the file, file I/O. So from a file, data file, maybe here you request something from the data file, then you read it out again and display on the forms later on. Okay, writing data in a file, user input data into text boxes. Okay, the steps for writing data are, you must declare. Okay, you must declare a new StreamWriter object. It's like you have a pointer file, FP or FPTR last time. Okay, so also declare the name of the data file. You must know the file name. Use the StreamWriter WriteLine method to copy the data to a buffer in the memory. To write, you want to write something to your data file. StreamWriter close method. So you have done everything already. Don't forget to close it. So transfer data from a buffer to the file and release system resources used by the stream. If you don't close it, sometimes your files will be corrupted or may not be used anymore. Okay, so once you declare it, okay, finish all your process, don't forget every time, finish using it already, you just close it. Okay. So instantiating a StreamWriter object, the general form here, the default locations are for a file is where the program executable.exe is placed. So which is the bin debug. This is the one that you deal with also in your chapter 9b there. Folder. It's actually together with your current project. Okay. So bin debug folder, we need the folder of the current project. You're dealing with the current project. So for the default locations, your file will be there. You can find it from there. So can specify the complete path of the file as well. But make sure again you know where you put your file. If file doesn't exist, a new file is created. Okay. So when you write it, okay, when you want to use the StreamWriter object, if the file is not there, a new file is created. Same as the one that in your programming last time. When it is right, okay, doesn't matter, you don't have the file there. Okay, a new file will be created if cannot find that particular file name there. Okay, so by default, once we open an existing file, it will be deleted. It will be deleted, and a new file is created. So this is actually to overwrite existing data. Your existing data override it. You let's say you have 10 records inside, 10 data inside this file. Then now, if you use the StreamWriter object, okay, this will be deleted. A new file called with the same name will be created with empty. Okay, so to avoid to override it, you can specify to append the data by adding up the true here, boolean append, comma, true. So when you declare the file, the StreamWriter, okay, what's the object name that you want to use as new StreamWriter? What's the file name that you're going to deal with? Okay, this is actually to override that. If that particular file name is there and you have data inside it, if you are using this line, it will be override. Okay, but when you put the comma with the true here, which means that the files that you have with the data inside, so if you write in the new data, you will actually append it instead of override it. Okay, so you must specify true to append it. Otherwise, don't be surprised where is your previous data. Okay. Yes.
On the bin/debug, is there another slash behind it, like previously?
Oh no, this one is only mentioned on the bin/debug first. But in the real coding later, that's one whole line, it's a long line there in your chapter 9b.
Oh.
This one you mean, is it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So later when you click on your, am I still in the entire screen? Here, bin debug. Bin debug. It's only mentioned inside your bin debug. You have something, text file. You can see my screen or not?
Oh, yeah, can.
Okay, so this part, the bin debug is actually to tell you where you can get your text file later on under bin debug. But when you need to put in all this data for this for your locations, default locations that you have done like last week, okay, you need to put in the code this long, okay, this long. Okay, sorry. Then only you put it in this way. Okay. I think you mentioned this, is it, Noah?
Oh, yeah. But why this one got extra slash?
Directory. This one is only to show you where you can get it. This one is the directory for the code. In the coding wise, you must put it in this way. But this one is just to show some information to you. You can find the folder under this folder. You can find your text file under this. After the bin, go to the debug folder to get it. This is how it means that. Okay, it's not on the coding part. Okay, this one is not on the coding part. Huh? Okay, huh?
Okay.
Okay. So declaring a StreamWriter object example here. So you have the object name as new StreamWriter with straight away the file name. Okay. So which means that if you have existing, you have this font.txt in this project, then you have this font again. You want to deal with this font.txt again in the same project. Whatever changes, okay, all the previous data will be overwritten. Okay, and then if you have this, which means that you put it somewhere else already. Okay, your different path. Okay, make sure you know where you put the text file. If you put it somewhere outside of your current project, make sure you know where you put it. And for this case, also you put it somewhere else. Okay, and a true behind, which means that I'm actually appending this file now, logfiles.txt. Okay, this one still overwrite, this one append. Okay, so the StreamWriter object has the write method. So it places items consecutively in the file with no separator. No separator. When you have a write, you can just put comma later. But if you don't put all this comma, this and that, your data will be continue, one line, continue, continue, continue. If you have a WriteLine method, it will place an enter between items. So which means that it will place a line, okay, a \n, a line, a new line. So data 1, then your data 2 will be the second line, data 3 will be third line. This is how, this is when you are using WriteLine. Okay, right? Data 1, data 2, data 3, side by side. Okay. So the WriteLine method, general form here. Data to write argument must maybe the string or numeric. Okay, data to write here. Convert any numeric data to string. Okay, this is what you have been doing also previously. Okay, because what you're going to display also, make sure you make it to string first, or what you put it there, user input, is actually a string. You have to convert to numeric or decimal, all this before you do your process. Okay, so just remember that whatever on your screen is actually string. Okay, you need to deal with it. If that's not a string, it's a numeric, you have to make it to string, then display. Okay, and write string data in the form. Okay, so the form, the general form here, object name, depends on what you declare, dot WriteLine. What's the data that you want to write into the file, the data file. And now it's actually, you're gonna write it down, data line by line, if you have more than one data that you're going to put inside the file, because you're using WriteLine. Okay, so the example here for the WriteLine method, you can actually just take the text. Okay, straight away, whatever user key in is actually the string. So user key in to a certain text box, you can just straight away take it. Or you can just take a fixed value, fixed string. Okay, or if that's a numeric or decimal, make it to string, then WriteLine. Okay. So button click event procedures. The user enter data into the text boxes. Okay. And click the save button. Click the save button, which writes the data from the screen to the StreamWriter object and clears the screen. So when you want to ask for the user key in for the name and the font in this case, you can straight away use this already. Okay. WriteLine, the name.text, font.text. Okay. Once it is saved, it's actually saving the .text to the data files that you have. And then to be logic, after you save already, maybe you can come up with a message box, and also clear the text box here to blank again. Okay. Oh, writing data in a file. Okay, so now you open up the chapter 10 demo file. Did you open it up already?
Yeah.
Okay, so go for the save record lah. Okay, save records. Okay, so you can see that you have one here. This is on text name, text ID, text cost. So you ask for the user to key it. Then when you click on the save button, okay, yours is this one comment uncomment, right? You just try both lah. Okay, so straight away, because now I have this, we have this object declare SW student as new StreamWriter. We're gonna deal with the students. Oh, here, this one is a pen. Okay, we're gonna deal with student.txt. Okay, student.txt without true first. Then you just run it. Let's see. Okay, you all just play around with it. Okay, let's say my name, my course, save. So this record has been saved successfully. So at least you give a message box to inform the user. Okay, the record is already been saved successfully. Then okay, clear the field to empty to get ready for the next key in. Okay, let's say I key in another one, Ali, 1, 2, 3, 4, course, RSD as well, save, then exit. Okay, if you exit it, you can get the text file student. Here, since we are using the WriteLine, see, WriteLine, text name, ID, and cost. So you can see that your students.txt, name, ID, and cost, line by line. Okay.
Miss,
Yes.
is it the same? Because my line 4, it doesn't go like line by line. It just one straight line.
Line 4.
Yeah.
Your line 4.
In the student.txt.
Student.txt.
Yeah. Because it's right here like period, comma, then the ID, and then
comma. If that's a comma, I think you already uncomment something. Did you uncomment this one?
Yeah, I uncommented one.
Oh, this one is actually using right now.
Oh, okay.
So different method. It's okay. So first 3 lines you comment it. Okay. Then you uncomment the next 3 lines, 4 lines here lah, because after the one records, you give a WriteLine, give a new line for them. Then in this case, it is still overwrite your file. You can run it as well, no problem. So any of it, just a simple data, exit. So you can see that your data here, your data is actually separate in comma. Okay, if I add in new line later, it will be in second line, something like that. Okay. Okay. So here is actually you combine string, you can combine the string with the comma. If you don't put this comma, you won't have this comma here. Everything will be squeezed together. Okay. So that's to override it. So I may do something again. Just uncomment this one. Comment the first declarations. I use the one which I can append. Okay. So what I have inside is students AAA student. If I use the append, BBB. Okay, you can see that AAA BBB is there. Okay, so that's the difference for the append or not append. Make sure when you declare it, if you want append, put the true. If you want to override it, don't put this one. Just follow this one. Okay, so if you want to use a line by line, use this one. If you want to use a separator, comma, or use another symbols, you can use right. But logically, one line for one record lah. You put the WriteLine after every single record if you are using write. Otherwise, you're gonna have squeezed all the records together, and it's actually make yourself headache later. How to get the data? What's the data? Okay, you're gonna confuse with that later. Okay. Then you can see that there's a message box. The record has been saved successfully. You save the records and clear the text boxes that you have to get ready for the next key in. And this focus on name first. Name text box will be focus. You focus on that text box for the next key in by the user. Okay, so far so good, Clear?
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Kevin, you okay?
Yeah.
Or still slow?
Already tried.
Okay, good. So closing a file. So like what we have done in this demo, done already. You have to close the file. Make sure you close the file. Here, close the file. Form closing, close the file. Okay. Oops. So use StreamWriter's close method. Finish writing all the data from the stream buffer to the disk and release the system resources. Commonly coded in forms closing event. Form closing event, procedures, or in your program exit command. Just to make sure you close it. Okay. If the file is not closed, it may remain open for an indefinite time and sometimes may become unusable and again corrupted. Okay, so even though that's a simple line, you say, yeah, simple line, no need to do, no need to include. This may cause your data loss. Okay, so for example here, how to close a file. When it comes to the form closing for that particular form, close it. Or when you click on the exit button, close the form. Then you close the form, close the file, then you close your form. Okay. Clear this part? Same concept. You declare, you do that, you do something, you close it. So far, so good. Any questions?
No.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So viewing the contents of a file. So you can view the new files using text editor, such as Notepad. So the ones that you do, if you want to add the text file manually, you can do that as well. Just add the new item, add the text file. Okay. Or view from a Visual Studio IDE here in the Solutions Explorer here. Select your project name. Show all files button to display the bin folder and the debug folder. Select the files to display in the editor windows. This is only to mention where you can find your text file. Okay. You can find your own text file. Then you project here, the bin, the debug, then your text file will be here. Okay. Oh, this one also mentioned. Okay. Show all the files. The bin debug folder, bin, then debug folder, go to the data file. You got this also, class?
Okay.
Okay,
Yep.
yeah. So now reading data from a file. Again, what's the steps for the reading file? Same thing. Declare. But now StreamReader. Just now it's StreamWriter. Because you are reading something. So StreamReader class. So again, also declare the name of the data file. Open the file. Use StreamReader's ReadLine method. We need to loop to retrieve multiple records. If you have more than one record, you need to use a loop. Just like when you're using the for loop or the while loop to retrieve all the records from a text file previously. Call the StreamReader close method. Same thing. Declare. Use the readline. Close. Just now you declare StreamWriter, use the WriteLine, close. Same thing. So instantiating a StreamReader object. So the file must exist in the specified locations where the applications expect it, or an exception occurs if no such file exists. So this is like the file checking in your programming last time as well. If fp equals to null, then print an error message and exit, something like that. Okay, so declare the StreamReader object in the procedures and then close it in a try-catch block. So you're gonna check for your file opening error inside the try-catch block. Okay. So the general form for the StreamReader object, how to declare it, how to instantiating this object. So start with dim again. What's the object names that you want to use? As new, now you can say that StreamReader. Definitely you open this file for reading. What's the file name? So for example, here to use the try-catch block to check for the file opening error. Try, okay. Straight away declare you open up the file. Catch, if the file cannot be found here, file does not exist. You put a message there. Okay, so by using just a simple few lines here, you're actually easily for you to know whether your file is there or not. It's not under problems, but now I cannot get my file to read the data. It's not my coding problems on the process or something else. It's the file problems. I cannot find it. Use the try catch. Just follow this one.
Is the catch on it? Don't have like the exception. Like
Exceptions.
catch.
You can add in more, but this one is just to check. You can add in more if you have something else you want to catch. But now you only need to know whether you can find out this file or not. You can have a simple try catch. That's it. Exceptions. Okay. Anyway, that's the IntelliSense automatically for you as well if you are typing try catch. Okay. Okay. You can use back your previous way as well. I can just simply try catch. You can do something. So using the readline method, use to read previously saved data, the data that you saved under the data file. And each time it executes, it reads the next line of data, assigning the value from the read to the desired locations, such as level, text box, or the string variables, or the list box, or the combo box. Depends on where you want to list down the data that you read out. Okay, so like in this case, I want to assign this SR form. After you read out this line of data, I want to assign this data to label name.text. Okay, I want to assign the data. I want to put that data as a text for this label name. Okay. So checking for the end of file. We are using another new thing here. Use StreamReader's pick method. So this pick method is actually look at the next element. Without reading it, it will look for the next element. If you pick beyond the last element, the value returned is -1, which is this. So when you check for the pick, you need to come up with the conditions. If object name not equals to -1, then you keep read it out. Then you keep read it out. So code and if statements to execute pick and compare for not equals to -1 before reading. So when it is not equal to -1, it will keep reading line and then do something. Okay. So read elements in the exact same order as they were written to obtain valid data. Same order how you put inside your data file, they will read out in that order. So the file read program reads the file and displays records on the form. Okay. You're going to read that particular file and display the records on the forms that are designed by you. But how you're going to design that? Okay. So each time the user click next, the program reads and displays the next record. So which means that you need to do some pick. You need to use some pick method, especially when you click on the next button in this case. So next, it will search for the next record, next data display. Until your next, it is equals to -1. Yeah, then that's the end of the records already, end of the data files already. End of file, the one that you have learned. Okay, so now reading data from the files, you go to your read records. Read records. Okay, demo again. So make sure you change your setup form. Okay. Because this one's just now we have this change it to the comma with the right, so we have to update a bit lah. For the self-record, we should use the WriteLine lah, so that you're going to have the correct display later. Because the record is actually WriteLine. It's actually WriteLine here, line by line. So here, make sure for the save record, you do some updates here.
Can only go forward, cannot go backward.
So this one is actually to read data line by line. Go forward, yes.
Is there a way to?
If you want to go next, go to previous, that would be deal with your database already normally. You have learned this in your chapter 9a. Still remember? First, last, next, previous, the buttons.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay, so make sure you save, maybe you can run again your save records to make sure you have your data line by line. Make sure you have data line by line so that later when you read it out, it's something oh. You can do your adjustment as well, if you think that something wrong, or you can do your manually key in here as well. STL total deleted AAD lah. Then you can see that you're going to read out the correct data already, like name, ID, cost.
There's space in between. Will it jump to the next record in the text?
Space in between. Here. You mean something like this, is it?
No. Like a enter space in the middle of the record.
Enter space. Inside the text file, you mean?
Yeah, the
Is
3
it?
and 4 in between got the space like that.
Something like this, man, is it?
No. 3 and 4 enter. Yeah. There's a space.
Oh, 3 and 4 enter.
Yeah.
Let's
Like
try.
that. So there.
I think I forgot to save. Because you're only taking line, I think should be no problems to read that. Oh, we're missing 1, 2, 3. It's read line by line, no?
Okay.
So make sure you don't have the line there. So this line is a little bit different with your line in programming. Okay. So you can see the code. For the try catch first, and then the code use the pick method to check it is not equals to -1. It will keep read line. So line by line it will read. Okay. So until it is -1, it will show this is the last record. Next. So this is the last record. Okay, so when it's button exit, close it. Form closing, close it, close the file. This one close the form. So make sure you have a place to close your data file. Otherwise, the data might be corrupted. Okay? You're still testing it?
Yeah, still testing it.
Okay. No problem. So spend some time. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. So we continue using the file comment dialog box. So this may allow the user to browse and enter the file name at runtime. Okay, during runtime. So user browses for a folder and file name or enter a new file name. User can put in something for this file name. So use the file open dialog, comment dialog, open file dialog, this component to display the dialog box. Then use the object's file name property to open the selected file. Okay. So displaying the open file dialog box here, add open file dialog components to your file. Okay. And then at the design time, you set the initial properties for name. Okay. Initial properties for name, check file disease, check path disease, filter, and title. So this one more to your properties site already. You need to do some setting there. So in code, set initial directory property to application startup path. Okay, and this one you need to put in as a code already for this case. You must have that line, but in your form, when you come out with your form, make sure you go to the toolbox to come out with the open file dialog components. So display dialog box using show dialog method and retrieve file name properties here. So files of type determined by the filter properties here. Text file, we just deal with txt. Okay. So checking for successful file open. If the StreamWriter or StreamReader were not instantiated, the file did not open. Okay. So use the VB keyword nothing to check for instantiations. And an object here, an object that has not been instantiated, has a value of nothing. So you check whether it's nothing or not. So must use the keyword is not rather than the not equal operator. So here to check for the file opening error, whether it's open successfully or not, we use the keyword is not. So if that's your file name, stream, the object name is not nothing, then just close. It's not nothing. Is the file already open here? So you must use the keyword is not in this case. It's not, should be, it's not. Rather than this one, not equals operator in this case. So when you deal with is or equals, that's the is lah, same as equal. Okay, but now in this case it's not. So checking for already open file. So it's possible that a user may select the file open menu item twice. Okay, so when they open it up twice, this caused the problem. Okay, so the second open file instantiates another file stream. The close method never executed for the first file. So sometimes when you have a file, when you do your form load, and then you have another menu to open the file. Confused already lah? Cause the problems here. So always check for an active instance. Which one you actually deal with now. So always check for an active instance of the file stream that you use. You need to know which one you actually open up. Okay, now open up your demo file open dialog box. This one. Okay, you can see that that's the file open dialog box. You have a menu. Okay. Then the menu here. Okay. You do some checking whether the file is open or not. Okay, you can play around with this program, with this file. File open dialog box. Please choose the file. So here, student, open, last record, file open. So you can see that you can open it here. You can also open it here. So you need to make sure your coding partner, you just follow the coding parts given. Otherwise, this will be confused already. See. Open. I only have 2 records. Okay. You play around with it, huh?
If take coffee and then got 4 records.
You can pick coffee also can, it's okay, no problem.
Yeah,
but your label lah, because this one was only to open to try out to open the files. That make sure when you open up the files, your user interface design is actually can gather the data inside lah. For the coffee should be something else lah. Huh? No problem, you just play around with it. Okay, so it's actually get the filter to filter out only the .txt files. Okay, what's the file name? It's actually when you click it, it will get the file names already lah. So you must have this initial directory applications.startup lah, as mentioned. Okay, then dialog box, make sure it's show dialog lah. You need to give some response, then only you can go for the next step. Okay. So you can actually just recycle, reuse all these codes, no problem. Just to make sure you know what files that you're dealing with now. Create your own data inside your data file. Okay. So you play around some more.
Miss,
Yes.
can you explain the code on line 37?
Line 37.
If,
Nothing.
so if there is something, then it close.
If this is not nothing, then close. You're actually closing if you cannot find the file. If you cannot find the file, it will close. Then, yeah, that's close only.
Oh.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Okay. You're still playing with it, huh?
Yeah. Okay.
Let me once you have done, once you have played enough already, then we continue with the last part. I think should be the last part already.
I done.
Okay. Okay, can we continue maybe?
Okay.
Okay, yeah. So using the save file dialog component, now it's open save. Okay, so in addition to the open file dialog, the save file dialog, which also you can get it from the controls day toolbox for the components save file dialog, can be displayed and display the standard system save as dialog box. Okay, it's actually for you to save what you have done for the changes. So the save file dialog allows the user to browse and enter a file name to save. Has most of the same properties as open file dialog components. Okay, by default, the save file dialog components check for an already existing file and display a dialog box asking the user whether to replace the existing file or not. So you have that file already there. So whatever changes, this save file dialog components will actually ask you whether to replace what you have. Okay. So saving the content of a list box. So do not assign values at the design time. Okay. So when the program begins, you open the data file and read the items into the items collections of list box. You're actually read out the data from these data files, and then maybe by the same time, so you want to ask for the user to edit something. Okay. If user make changes to a list, ask whether to save list when the program ends. okay, whether you want to save it or not. So include the menu options to save list. In your menus, just now you have file, now you have file and save. You should have a file and save. So if file, if file of list elements does not exist, when the program begins, allow the user to create new lists by adding items. Into it. So loading the list box here. Read the file into the list in form load. When the form is loaded, then you start to read the file. Look through the files until all elements are read. Use the items.add. This is the one that you have went through. You have used it before, this method, especially when you deal with the combo box and also the list box. .add. Okay, item.add, method to add the data elements to the list. So do until a certain object .pick equals to -1. You keep read out, add into the list now. Okay, add into your combo box. Combo box. So checking for existence of the file. When the StreamReader object is created, okay, the constructor makes sure the file exists. If it does not exist, give the user options. Try to locate the data file again. You ask them to put where you want to put the file. And exit the program. Begin with the empty list. Add items and create a new file. You can give these options when the file is not there. So saving the file now. Provide a menu options for the user to save the file. Open the StreamWriter object. Okay, because you save it. Look through the items collections of the list box, saving each element with the WriteLine method again. Using WriteLine method again, which means that you're going to use back those what you have learned for the StreamWriter objects just now. Querying the user to save. Good idea to ask user if they want to save any changes made before program ends. Always it's not only good idea. It's always we should ask. So use a module level Boolean variables. Boolean is 30 to keep track of changes. So in procedures that allow changes, set variables to true. After saving files, set Boolean variables to false. So later on, you can check through the code again. It's actually, we deal with some flag in your programming last time. That's a flag. If found equals to 1, doing what? Found is not found, doing what? Okay. So the form closing event procedures here. For the form closing event procedures is the best locations to ask user to save the file. So you can always ask them at the form closing. So before it closes, that will be safe for you to ask whether you still want to keep it or keep the changes or just leave it. So closing event executes before the form closes, no matter how user exit the program or even the windows. Okay, at least you ask once. Okay, now you can open up another, I think should be the last demo. Open and save. Open and save. This one. Open and save. Okay, seems like nothing there. Then maybe I need to open the file. Coffee files. You all have different data huh? So you can also add the coffee. So espresso. Add the coffee. I can add another coffee. What else coffee? Cappuccino. You can just add anything. So maybe I try to exit now. Okay, see whether you want to save or not. Coffee list has been changed. Save the list. Yes. So coffee. I can just save it as coffee. Do you want to replace it? Yes. So now my coffee, I have this list at this moment. Okay. So now if I open file for the, again, coffee, because deal with coffee, you can see that it's actually loaded. What you have inside the list just now is actually loaded as a list in this case already once you open it. Okay. So you can also see whether you want to clear the coffee flavor list, yes or no. You just put no. Remove coffee. Please select a coffee to be removed. You can. Okay, I can remove this coffee maybe. So now you just play around. I save it first. My latest coffee is only with 2 coffee, I think, if not mistaken. Just now I only have 3. What? I got 4. Read up 4. 2 only. You just play around with it. Okay. Okay. So you'll play around with it again, and this is what you learn for this chapter, final chapter. All about data files. You read, you write, and then you open up the files, you save the files. check the end of the files, test whether the file exists or not. Okay, so that's all the 10 chapters that you have. So I hope you all apply this to your assignment. Just a simple part, I mean like simple things that you put for the data file is okay, no problem. Because just to make sure you apply whatever you have learned in this course to your assignment. Okay, you can just take whatsoever demo that you can and make sure that's reflect to your topic to your system. Okay, so for the questions, any questions at this moment?
So we submit the assignment on Thursday next week.
Yeah, next week. Any date specified by the questions there? I can't remember. Hold on, let me check.
Week 13 only.
It's only mentioned week 13, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, final assignment submissions, week 13. Your progressions, how many percent already?
I'd say
Just your own module first. Just your own module first. How many percent already?
60.
50?
Yeah.
60? 50 or 60? I can't hear you clearly.
50, 60. Just left the database again.
Okay. How about Kelvin and Farah?
Yeah, around like 50 or 60, somewhere like that.
Okay. So mostly you have done for the user interface already, your form design.
Yeah.
Okay. Kelvin, how about you?
Same.
Pardon?
Same.
Same, Okay, good. So if that's the case, next Thursday you all manage to submit or not? Next Thursday?
Let's see first lah. How's the progress?
Because you still need to combine it, don't forget, you still need some time to combine it. Maybe any other submissions for next week?
Meaning like ada assignment kah?
Which day?
Next week.
Other than mine, any other submissions?
So far,
I think
it's it lah.
yeah, I think the VP assignment only.
VB assignment only, The rest of the assignment all submitted,
Oh, only left the SAD.
SID,
Yeah.
SID, you still need to have a final presentation, all these things, right?
Yeah.
So if that's the case, we make it to next Thursday first. If no, hold on. How about if like a Friday morning before 10 o'clock, you all submit it lah? Is that okay? Next Friday before 10 lah. At least you still have more time, longer time a bit for you to compile, to integrate one whole system data.
10 p.m. or 10 a.m.
10 a.m. first. Okay, we make it to 10 a.m. first.
Submitted the file only or need the video recording also?
Yeah, video, everything.
Okay.
Everything, including your assignment report. Don't forget your assignment. You need assignment report.
Okay.
Consider final report lah, huh? Wow. Fast and furious outside. So loud. I'm not sure whether you'll hear that or not.
Yeah, very loud.
Yeah, fast and furious. Okay, so make sure you all check back again your assignment, especially on the assignment rubrics lah. Okay, on the assignment rubrics for the GUI, how many marks, GUI and navigations design, program business logic design, exceptions handling, data and database, system report, descriptions and system and targeted user. All these actually give you marks there. Detailed functional. Did I stop sharing my screen? Sorry, I stopped sharing already. Okay. Your assignment rubrics always refer back. Okay. This is actually to help you how you can get higher marks for this assignment. What you need to have. This serves as a checklist for you lah. Then user manual. Make sure you come up with clear explanations in details on your own system. Okay, and then presentations also give you some marks here. So definitely, if you submit I think we present first present on next Thursday. Then especially when you have some improvement or whatsoever that you need to do, you can still do that. We will present on next Thursday. Is that okay?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So make sure by next Thursday you already start to you have the integrated one which means that you combine everything your module, Ferris module, Arnowell's, Kelvin's module, all there. So maybe one of you project your screen, share your screen, then you do your presentations as well. Teamwork. So from your modules, from your integrated system, I can see that how good is your teamwork. Did you all really discuss or not? So this will be your report cover. Don't forget this part. You have to include this part as well. This one and this one to your report, assignment report. Any template given? Let me see. Cover page. Here. This one did I put up to your Google Classroom? Do you have this document?
Sorry.
You have it, Okay. So make sure you have this cover page for your assignment report. Okay. Yeah, that's your assignment. And then by this week I will upload the past year questions. Okay, I will upload the past year questions later So you all focus on your assignment first, and then maybe next week or week 14, we will discuss on these past year questions. If no changes for the final online assessment submissions, normally turn in. If no changes, then you all need a dry run or not, which means that like mock test, something like that. Because as usual, if no changes as usual, that will be given you will be given a Google document. You write down the answer day, then you just turn in after you have complete all the answers there.
Got plagiarism checking also.
Plagiarism checking. I think no way. I think should know lah for this course with the coding wise. And mostly they ask you for your opinion one, why you say so, and originality check. All this check, yes or no. It's very quick one. Like if we need that, you just do the checking lah, originality report checking lah. But this one I'm still yet to confirm lah by the course coordinator from KL. Huh? Yeah, I think that's all. So
But
you all
this-
please continue to do. Yeah.
The final, we really need to open a program to.
You might need to open it for your own testing, no?
Oh, okay.
For your own testing, if you have time, you quickly come out with some simple testing. Because definitely there is a coding wise for you to come out with for some setting, this and that. So those kind of coding part, make sure after if you have time lah, you can do a quick check lah on that. It's not saying that you submit the VB for me. I don't think you need to submit this one. It's just a program statement lah, consider part of it lah. Important one that will give you some marks there. Okay. So please try out the 9B. Did I mention in the group also? For your 9B and 9B extra, you have another, what we call that now, the demo. Okay. So you can see that, you can find out when you go through the demo, especially for the database. For the database part, we start with normally it's like drag and drop. Then the second part, you're gonna deal with the coding already. Without using the data source, okay, you actually deal more with the coding, how you connect to the database that you have by applying some queries there. That will be in your I think it should be 9B. Okay, 9B more to the coding part to connect and then to update your database as well. Okay, you see, you can see that. Yeah, update database. Yeah, mostly deal with the coding already. How you can get every single field, different fields when you do some updates, this and that, how to save it, this and that. Not like 9A is mostly you have the data source. You connect the data source straight away, you drag and drop from there. But now here, for the 9B, there is no need to use the data source. You deal with the coding part. Okay. So you all check through 9B. And 9B extra is the demo lah, is the chapter 9B extra. Make sure you also play around with it for those who still not managed to clear all those queries in chapter 9. Okay, try out all the queries. And you can also go for this chapter 9B extra for the demo some more. 9B extra is actually on the one that you have gone through. Okay, we have gone through, but not the query parts. Query parts, please continue, especially from this part, these slides. Okay. Okay, this is the 9B extra, and please check through the demo lah. Okay. All this will help you will give you more ideas. Okay. Will give you more ideas when you start to deal with the data source, what will happen if you not deal with the data source, what you can do to get all the data from your database. Okay, you still can deal with the database without add a new data source lah. Okay, so by all these codings, and actually the coding is inside here already. Okay. You just need to connect to your own database and deal with your own fields, your own columns, and on your own tables. Oh, okay. And then there is no need for you to go through the link tables. No need to link the table at this moment. Because if you can do all this for your deal with your own modules, deal with the all modules, tables, data, for the first data, the last one, the next one, the previous one, the updated one, delete, save, all this, and that's good. It's really good enough already for this course at this moment. Because 14 weeks, we also cannot expect too much. Oh, okay. Maybe your design because for so many weeks you deal with the form design. I hope you can come up with a more creative design at this moment. Okay. Okay. Any questions that you want to ask, maybe regarding your assignment or this and that?
If the form add more decoration, will give more marks.
Then your forms UI, your first thing, GUI and navigation design will get higher marks, 10 marks here. Navigations, make sure from this form to another form or menu to another form, run properly, no error. Or when I click on the certain menu, it's not working. Okay, so you check through the navigations as well, whether your design all is creative or not. If yes, you will get really high marks, 9 or 10 marks, 8, 9, 10 already.
All the form need logo.
Pardon?
All the form need logo.
All the form needs logo. Depends on how you create it, how you design it, whether you think this form is good to have logo or not. If you have a really big logo, this big logo should be happen that way. If you have a small logo, maybe you can put it in all the forms to make it standardized, and make sure not only in your own module, in one whole system. That's your teamwork. Okay? That's why you need to discuss with your group members. Okay, so maybe you can start it with a splash screen with some info, who created, who designed this. So all 3 members here, you just put in your own your details. Because all this you have learned, I never asked for something outside what you have learned at this moment for this assignment. But something outside can be the logic and creativity from you all. Okay, but the applications wise, whatever that you have learned, if you can apply it to your assignment, I can say that that's really good enough already. Okay, it's not saying that is enough, but in the future, definitely you still have a lot of rooms to improve it. But at this moment, within the 14 weeks, it's really good enough already. If you can apply all this, form design, good form design, those button, label, combo, list box, database, data file, all these things, that's good enough. So please keep doing your practical as well. By doing the practical, I believe you can get even more detail, more ideas, more. You have better understanding lah. Okay. So Kevin, don't give up with your laptop. Don't give up with your machine. I know sometimes it's a bit slow on your machine. Then you're a bit frustrated with your own machine. Please don't give up with that. That's the only thing that can help you for this for all the courses that you need for your submissions. Okay, maybe during sem break try to get the RAM to make it run faster. Yeah, any other questions that you want to ask before we dismiss? We can actually dismiss. Oh, your chapter 9B there, make sure you really try it. If you have questions on trying any queries there. But Noel, all the queries that you have tried all can run very well, correctly, Noel?
For the assignment?
No, I mean the 9B. This one? You have tried all the queries here, right?
Already.
So all can run properly, correctly, So please continue with this chapter's queries for those who haven't tried it, because this part also you can apply it to your assignment later for the search maybe. Okay, for the search, for the display, you see, to search those name contains and all, and with the ID ends. So it's actually giving you all these things, all the codes inside. If not inside the lecture, that will be inside your demo file. You all really need to spend some time to test on it. I understand that it's not saying that after we covered one chapter, everything also clear, everything also like 100% you got it. You can understand 100%. No, you need to practice it. Okay, even the same thing, the same demo, maybe you need to go through a few times. Okay, just to get to know, oh, okay, this code is actually on this. Oh, this code is actually doing that. Just your practice. That's why this course a lot of practice here. Okay. So if no questions, then maybe you can take a rest first before you continue to do your practical.
All right.
So, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So I will see you all on this Thursday. What we left is all with the practical. So we're gonna use the time for the practical.
Okay.
Okay. I will see you all on Thursday then. Bye.
Okay, Miss. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.